Hi, I'm Colin Kaepernick. I got $85 million from the NFL in various pieces parts, but now I deserve a tryout. I don't know of any other person that has been given a personal VIP league-sanctioned tryout ever.
Well, the league set this up. It was all very strange. I will say that. And I don't...
And it was a last-minute change of venue.
I don't blame him for changing it last minute from the sense that he really only wanted the teams that were truly interested to be present. So those that were interested ended up making the trip out to where he was.
I don't like any of it. I don't like the fact that it happened.
No, he deserves. I mean, look, it's a free market. He has the right.
Okay, it's a free market.
It's a free market. He has a right to hold a workout, and they have a right to attend.
Of course he does.
No,
okay, there.
But hold on. You're right. No, you're right. But it shouldn't have been league sanctioned.
No, that makes no sense, and I think that's why he switched. I think that's why he switched locations. So he didn't want it to be league sanctioned.
No, he wanted his film camera there so he could use it for a commercial. That's why he changed it.
They said he could have his commercial cameras in the stadium at Georgia Stadium.
And then they wanted him to sign not a non-disclosure, but some other form.
Let me play the story so everybody can get up to speed.
Involving Colin Kaepernick. After being off the field for nearly 3 years, the 32-year-old free agent quarterback practiced in front of representatives from several NFL teams in Atlanta today.
Now, what you don't understand, this happened on Saturday, is initially it was supposed to be at where the Falcons play and practice, and it got changed. That's where the NFL had it scheduled, and then Colin's people, for whatever reason, which we'll get into, changed it last minute to some high school based on forms.
40-something miles away.
Based on forms that both, people had to sign for everybody.
But the workout was abruptly moved to a high school football stadium south of the city at almost the last minute. It was supposed to be held at the Atlanta Falcons training facility in a northern suburb, but the location...
Now, Brian, why did they change it? Who changed it and why?
It was Kaepernick's people. They refused to sign the NFL's release, which they typically have people sign not for open workouts, but for league-sanctioned events. And so his point was, I'm not employed by the league. This isn't the draft. This isn't the combine. I'm not trying to get in for the first time. I'm not going to sign off on their waiver. I want to use this. I don't know if he's going to use it promotionally and have his own commercial or his own documentary or whatever he's doing.
So are they trying to use it for NFL films and he wants it for Colin Cap Inc.?
I think that's the problem. I haven't reviewed the release but part of it was an injury, and you won't claim work comp claims if you're hurt or anything like that. But clearly, he's not an employee.
It wasn't a media release thing.
I would want to read the whole release to see what the issues are.
We're told so media could be present, so the process could be more transparent. Kaepernick's football career took a hard turn after he began kneeling during the national anthem to protest.
Now, Brian, did you see, or Dan, did you guys see where the league had already told the potential team representatives that were going to be there that you could not ask them any questions about the kneeling thing? And I, on Friday or something, said, that's not fair as an employer, because if you're the general manager or, whatever of the Bucks or whatever, and you're going to potentially hire this guy, don't you want to kind of get ahead of what his position is so you know what's coming? So in order to know what his position is, you need to ask him that. So in an exit interview, maybe after you saw the guy work out, then you say, hey, Colin, I not that we're telling you what to do, but what are you going to do moving forward if you were to be a member of our football team and we're doing the national anthem gimmick there? What are you going to do?
It just shows that he's more interested in being a social justice warrior than being an NFL quarterback. Because in order to play in the NFL, you got to play by the rules. And he chooses not to. So he's not going to play in the NFL again. He's going to continue to be a woe is me, they took advantage of me kind of guy. And he's going to continue to try to make money off of his social justice agenda.
But hold on, don't you think that
he's a moron?
Don't you think
he's not really a moron because he's making money off of it, it's not a total moron.
But if he really wanted to play the game, then he's acting like a moron.
Hold on, so the number one guy who's been in his corner the whole time is Stephen A. Smith.
Yes,
he came out this weekend. K-Man just sent you the video, and was like, "This is the worst move he could have ever made. He obviously doesn't want to play football."
Right.
Hold on, this is Stephen A.
First time I agree with Stephen A. Smith.
Me too.
So let me get this straight.
And you know what? Blitz, this, because Stephen A. Smith sometimes does this, is why I even entertain Stephen
Why
A.
does he always sound like he just ran to the microphone?
I know.
I know. But this is what I also, like, sometimes I get irritated with Stephen A. Smith. I think he race baits a lot.
I think so.
But then sometimes he pulls the nose up on the deal, right? And that's why I kind of still listen to him.
Colin Kaepernick has been working out all of this time. Him, people in his camp, his close ones, loved ones, everybody talking about he wants to play football. He wants to play football. He's ready to play. Just give him the chance.
Is Stephen Smith sitting on a toilet doing this thing?
He's at his house.
He's pinching one off.
Yeah, he's at his house.
That's why I like him even more. He's pinching one.
He's got a little squeeze in there.
Recognizing that teams...
I might start doing videos from the toilet.
He doesn't wake up his mom. I mean, he's like whispering into the mic. I don't want to wake anybody up at my
need
house.
A shield because they need something to hide behind because they know that, guess what? If we bring this brother in for a workout and we don't like him or we don't want him, who knows what we're going to get accused of? We need cover. So the NFL provides that. I have no doubt Jay-Z's involved. I have no doubt Roger Goodell is involved. I have no doubt there's a host of people involved, but forget all of that.
We're angry.
Yeah.
This man wanted a chance. 25 teams show up in Georgia at the Atlanta Falcons practice facility, state-of-the-art facility, NFL personnel, equipment, everything, video, everything. And what does Colin Kaepernick do? Not Tuesday when he found out about it. Not Wednesday. Not Thursday. Not Friday.
Jeez.
He's right, though.
But hold on. This is the reason why I like Stephen A. Because just when he's a hometowner, and he's, Johnny Rah-Rah, whatever, then he pulls the nose up and gives me something like this, which gives me hope. Like, I like this.
Saturday, 3 hours before the workout. Because of some issue with a liability waiver. Colin Kaepernick wants to change the venue. Colin Kaepernick wants his own receivers. Colin Kaepernick wants to video things himself. Colin Kaepernick wants the media. This Colin Kaepernick comedian.
This is Stephen A. Smith's Twitter, or over the weekend kind of deal. After this happened on Saturday, Stephen A. Smith, took to his social networking, and this is the message.
I mean, he is better than about 6 or 7 starting quarterbacks currently in the NFL. But
but with that comes the problem.
No, that does. It does.
Tim Tebow was also probably good enough to be a journeyman backup quarterback.
No.
I think Tim Tebow was good enough to be a journeyman backup Colt McCoy kind of guy.
If you want the receivers to mutiny.
Colin Kaepernick is better than 6 or 7 starters right now in the NFL. Tim Tebow is not.
But what came with Tim Tebow was a locker room full of distractions.
Well, you never want your backup quarterback to be more famous than your starter. That's a problem. And that's why Kaepernick won't get a shot, because it's a distraction. You're absolutely right.
He ain't done no interviews. He ain't talked to nobody. Media can't find him, but he wants to do it. He wants the media available now.
And I'm going to watch the rest of the Stephen A. Smith thing
because he's just now getting into it.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into it. But Colin Kaepernick, if he really wanted to play, and his skill set's still there, all of this, guys, and tell me if you agree or not, all of this could completely be thwarted and be completely not an issue if Colin Kaepernick would simply say, you know what? I feel the way I did with the national anthem, and that was then and this is now, and I understand how that could be a distraction for NFL owners. I will assure any NFL owners that if I come in and play for your team, that I will abide by whatever national anthem policy you have, and I will do what my opinions and my protests on my own time.
Which is what you do with any employer.
If he did that, he would have
have
6 offers right now.
Today.
And hold on now. And so tell me if you guys understand. And it covers everybody, because the people that believe in what you are doing, then they're like, okay, he's got to do what he's got to do. And the people like me and everybody else who thinks that it's chicken crap, and they're like, you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that guy doing that and not being a distraction and going to play football. I appreciate that. I mean, would you, Dan, you or Brian or anybody who's doesn't appreciate that, if you stood up and did that, would you not be okay? That's cool.
I consider him.
I support his right to be in the NFL, his ability, his right to have an opportunity to be in the NFL, and I support any owner decision not to hire him because he's a distraction.
But the unknown
it's a
right
free
now, Brian.
Market.
But the unknown, Brian, the unknown is, and the NFL wasn't even going to allow you to ask this question, but the big unknown from a potential employer, one of the 31 NFL teams, the big unknown is what is he going to do? 32 teams. What is he going to do is on this national anthem
If he wants a platform for his message, what better way to get a platform off the field than to lead a team like the Bucs to the playoffs?
Right.
And
not be a distraction.
And be a hero, and then in the off season, go around and support your works and do what you want to do on your free time.
See, he's not being, in my opinion, he's not being handled correctly. He's not being. There's people that he looks up to. There's people that helps him make career choices and guides him through his career. And I don't think that he's being advised correctly. They
maybe
could actually.
Maybe he won't listen to him.
Well, maybe, but I mean, he could double his popularity and probably his pocketbook, so to speak, if he would just play the game. Right? Play the game.
Not change venues and then have a Kunta Kinte shirt on.
Is that what he had on?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I don't think there's any hope for this guy.
And that's what Stephen A. Smith's saying.
He's just getting into it right now.
You see, he don't want to play. He wants to be a martyr. But guess what? It ain't working this time. All of us believe that Colin Kaepernick would have showed out. And if he had showed out, I'm here to tell you, I believe he would have had a job inside of 2 weeks.
I do too. I really do. There's actually, you know what? There's so many teams that could use him right now.
Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone is questioning his ability.
No, not at all. But it's the drama that comes with.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But it didn't happen because he didn't show. He wanted to show up to
I
us.
just want to let any potential radio people that think that I'm going to be a problem, that I will be good as gold, my friends. And I've learned my lesson. Maybe this is the conversation that I've needed to have. I will do it your way, my friends. I will not be a distraction. I'll just ball. I'll straight ball for you, cousin.
High school.
I mean, who would ever thought, Blitz, that Bubba the Love Sponge would have showed up and sat on top of a chilly cigar bar on a Saturday night?
I know. 2.5 hours to drive each way.
And be the first radio personality there.
And try to sneak out, and I caught you.
Blitz didn't have any barely legal sweet capers to talk about?
No.
What a waste.
Actually, I was sitting in the parking lot a few minutes before the event, and I texted Bubba. I said, hey, how far away are you? And he said, I've been here for 20 minutes. I said, all right, I'll be in.
I'm rooftop.
I was sitting on the parking lot waiting
And then
for him.
about 5 seconds later, I got a text saying, running an hour and a half late, Big Daddy.
In an NFL facility, a high school. And then YouTube it live. Like the average Joe out there gets to decide if he's on the NFL roster. You don't want to work. You just want to make noise. And you want to control the narrative. It's over. Colin Kaepernick's aspiration in the NFL. For an NFL career. It's over.
And he was one of the biggest Kaepernick fans out there.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell he sounds disappointed.
Yeah.
This isn't just bombast from him.
No,
he's disappointed in Kaepernick.
He's thoroughly disappointed. He really is.
Legitimately disappointed in him.
Social and racial injustice, and that sparked arguably the biggest social justice movement in.
See, if this would have gone out without a hitch, this past Saturday, Colin Kaepernick's Pro Day, or, whatever. If it just would have went out without a hitch and he would have went out there and nailed it, and while nailing it, after he gets done doing the physical portion of it, he addresses the media and he addresses all 20-some teams that were there, and he says, I just want to lay to rest anybody that thinks I'm going to be a distraction for your football team. I will not. Any messages that I feel one way or another, I will handle on my personal time, and when I represent you, I will follow by whatever rules you have, including but not limited to the national anthem procedure. I just want a job, and I want to show you that I can do this, and I appreciate for the opportunity. But Dan, right, there would be 6 teams right now that were, because they're going to get more. You can turn this around, and that is, you know what, as much bad PR as you would get if you're the team that gave the guy a second chance because he upended his end of the deal, and he sat there for the national anthem, and he sat there proud with his hand on his heart, and he just did the way you're supposed to, and then he went out and balled, and he turned a bad team into a pretty good team, and he turned a team like the Buccaneers into possibly right there on the borderline of a playoff team, or the Lions, or several teams that need him right now. And people would see, man, I really, really like those Buccaneers. They gave Colin Kaepernick another chance, and he did it. I mean, there's such a warm and fuzzy story behind it, and a lot of dollars if you would do it right. I mean, what type of career are you going to have when you never got back in the NFL? Like, what's he going to be?
Look at Michael Vick. He was so vilified after the dog deal, and he came back.
Rightfully so.
And he came back, and he was praised, and he was applauded. And he was given that second chance. People will give you a second chance in America.
I'm trying.
But most of the time, they will.
I tell you, after this weekend, I don't want Kaepernick on any team that I'm a fan of at all.
No, either.
I don't care.
No,
I don't care how good he is.
He had a chance and he's blown it. He blew it.
I mean, to me, if he goes out there and still balls out and isn't a distraction and wins the team
but
games,
he's going to be a distraction.
But he's going to be.
You talked about this.
He proved this weekend he is going to be a distraction.
Stephen A. Smith said, man, this guy's going to be a distraction. This guy's not. He doesn't want a ball. This guy wants to be the martyr. He wants to be the guy. He's not even learned. And him getting that $86 million just add fuel to his arrogant fire.
Unless he did the math and realizes, I can be in the NFL for 6 more games on a crappy team, get cut, never get another shot, or I can use this opportunity as a PR move to further my brand and my name and make more money off of it.
I'm not saying he's made more money by doing what he's doing, because he probably did in the long run. I think you're right there. But like I said, I don't want him on any team I'm a fan of.
Don't come in under the guise that you want to play and you want an opportunity to show how good you still are when you really don't. When really, at the end of the day, that's not near financially as rewarding as just being this social martyr.
Go wear some more socks about cops being pigs.
So did the NFL give him $80 million? And what did the NFL give him in their settlement? Do we know?
His settlement
I don't know if that was disclosed.
I don't know who gave what, but he won $86 million. This is his agent that says he didn't think he's going to get a job in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about that and speaking to people, and you mentioned it. You could see the arm strength. You could see the workout went fairly well. But Jeff Nally, Kaepernick's agent, said he is not optimistic that he's going to get a call from an NFL team because, frankly, he hasn't for 3 years. And
again, Brian, wouldn't you agree that the unknown that not any NFL team is willing to find out the hard way, and that is, what is he going to do with regards to the national anthem, right? That's why he's not got any offers, because he's not got in front of this and said that he would not do that. And NFL teams they just can't take that controversy. They can't. Everybody absolutely spins themselves out when addressed that particular issue, right? There's no. The president was involved in his decision, in his opinion. It's such a polarizing, disruptive act that causes everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's already shown he won't follow directions,
right? And that particular thing that he does, it just gets everybody worked up. There's no win, no matter what side you're on, right? Everybody gets worked up over him kneeling. Like, it's a big deal. And whether it's his right to kneel or not, that's one thing, but it's an absolute game changer of a distraction for your organization.
It's the right of anyone in the stands to kneel. It's not the right of a player working for another entity to exercise the First Amendment right.
It's their right.
It's not their right.
It is their right.
It is their right.
Amendment
But the employer has the right to fire them too. The employer has the right to fire them as well. They can exercise it.
Yeah.
They can't be prevented from doing it.
Right.
But they can be terminated for doing so.
Yeah, they'll get repercussions for doing it.
Yeah.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Buzz. Good morning. Quick question.
Yeah.
This weekend, I was discussing this issue with some family members, and I was curious where you got the $85 million total. Are you kind of being satirical about that? Because
it was $86 million.
Actually, no. He this particular summer, Colin Kaepernick was awarded $86 million as part of a collusion case that he brought up against the NFL, where the NFL and most of its owners had inner emails and conversations and text exchange how they all agreed to stay away from this problem. and this guy and not to hire him.
The report from the New York Times, though, says it's less than $10 million.
Yeah, supposedly that's what
exactly.
he ended
that was
up.
what I was going to say.
He ended up. He ended
when
up getting
it. It said him and Reed split less than $10 million, and I kind of was made out in this group of people I was speaking with to look like a horse's ass because they're like, well, it says it right here. They only split $10 million, and so I was just curious about.
I think the final payment was like around $10 million. That's what he really got.
Well, sir, I at one time saw $85 million. Don't ever rely on any information that I give you, ever.
Bubba, I take your word for gospel,
yeah,
brother.
Well, don't go to your family reunion and get into an argument on data that you heard on my show because it'll probably end up not being right. And then just another person hates me.
I can't believe though that 17 of these teams who usually on Saturday the decision makers aren't really available.
No.
And so it's really disruptive to have to send a full-time, like one of your best scouts down to Atlanta to see this guy throw.
And for teams that might have been there who didn't want to be there, and the fact that there might have been teams that were there, but they're afraid of the social injustice that they're going to, the havoc.
Right. Yep.
The trolls are going to be like, well, hey Packers, why weren't you there? And then hey, everybody needs to protest the Packers because they weren't the Colin Kaepernick deal.
Right. And then, but those 17 teams that chose not to drive the extra 45 minutes, I mean, it just shows that they really weren't there.
Right.
And I think maybe that might have been a part of what he was saying is he only wanted the teams that were legitimately interested to be present. I don't know.